information and how you take care of managing all of that within your own offices. We have invited to be with us today the team from Foundant, which is the software company that the Community Foundation has been working with since 2012 with some of our data management. And they have a new product out called Nonprofit Core. And we'd like to have you have an opportunity to see what that product could do for you, or a product like it. We just want to have you start thinking about how you might be able to increase day-to-day efficiency within your own office, provide for long-term stability for your organization and greater impact. I know that the Community Foundation, with the software that we are using, and we use something very different. We use something specific for community foundations. We use a product called C-Suite, and we do use their grant and scholarship management programs as well. And I can tell Mr. Parker that we probably save at least half an employee every year in the efficiencies. And what we have with those systems is very helpful for the Community Foundation. So we expect kind of the same thing from Foundant with their new product for nonprofits. So we hope you enjoy this presentation, but Nonprofit Exchange is really a time for us to spend time with each other. So I think it is always helpful. Everyone did get a list of who is attending today, or at least who registered. Let's just kind of go around the room real quick, and you can add additional information in the chat. Jenna, I think we have a poll that we can do right now. Let's just talk a little bit about where you are currently with your customer relation management and your financial management, and just fill out this poll. Do you currently use an integrated system that gets all the information in one place? Do you use multiple platforms where maybe you're entering your information several times, and maybe you're not sure? But also in the chat might be a good place to provide some information on what's working well for you, or what some of the challenges are that you have. So we do that real quick. And then Jenna can let us know what those poll results are. And then we'll follow that up with a quick around the Zoom in 15 seconds. We're just going to have everyone kind of introduce themselves. Let us know where you are as far as programs that you're using, what some of the challenges that you are. As we can see, most people are using multiple platforms, which probably means double entry of information and things like that. So we can close that out and go on, and we'll zoom around the room. And I think if I call your name, maybe that would be the easiest way, so that we're not just tripping over each other. So Jane Bratz, why don't you start? Introduce your organization and let us know where you're at with this topic.
Okay, the organization I belong with is Pomescher Verein of Central Wisconsin. It's a German club dealing with German heritage in the area, and we are in the process of switching from a 501c7 to a 501c3, and we're in need of help to maintain our organization and the sustainability of it. Okay. And so learning how to have a system to use to keep track of donors and so forth is very important, and that's why I'm here, more to learn than.
Excellent, Jane. I think you're going to learn a lot then.
All right, thank you.
You'll learn a lot. Olivia.
Hi, I'm Olivia Hill. I'm with the Wausau Conservatory of Music, and currently we use a couple systems. I use QuickBooks for our accounting, for our donor software, as well as we use it for our email blast primarily. We use Network for Good. And then thirdly, because we have a student registration major function and part of our business, we use a system called ASAP from Vanco Connect Point. I don't know, it has a million names, ASAP, to register our student base And so that one houses our students and registrations, also has email functions, not very great, but so we have these 3 systems.
Okay. How about Justin and Dan from HAMI?
Good morning, I'm Justin Sislevich.
And I'm Dan Mashevsky.
I am the CEO Executive Director of HAMI Inc. Wisconsin. HAMI Inc., we have a campus in Wausau, Forest Park Village. We have a campus in Wittenberg, HAMI Home for the Aging, and then we also have a foundation. What we use, well, because our business is primarily taking care of, seniors, elders between independent living and assisted living, we utilize for our accounting software, our medical record software through MDI Achieve Matrix that's specific to long-term care. However, but for our foundation side, our assistant, she utilizes Little Green Light, which helps her with the CRM tool of, looking at all the donors and so forth. Within HAMI, providing senior living services and providing a lot of services to folks that are on the family care program, we utilize the foundation to help, support our residents as they continue to age in place. We also like to keep our rents as affordable as possible because we are serving a population that's vulnerable, that's mostly low to mid of moderate income. So, thank you.
Gary Logoman, new organization, CPC.
Yes, I'm Executive Director of Community Partners Campus, which is a shared space nonprofit facility that is still under development. We are hoping to open our doors in October. And at this point, we are using QuickBooks and the standard Office suite of products. I think in the future, we're going to need more robust, we need to optimize QuickBooks and maybe a property management software.
Okay, excellent. And from Salvation Army. Oh, muted. And still muted.
Okay, let's try that. I bet you can hear me now. Okay.
Yes.
I said, thanks so much for doing this today. We use Salesforce for our customer management tool for tracking donors, donations. And I'm not sure what we use for accounting because that's done in our district headquarters land, but I heard something about Shelby, so I don't know much about that system at all. And I also use a spreadsheet for tracking where we are with grants, which is not very efficient. So, but it does work. So I'm looking forward to learning a lot of info. Thanks.
Excellent. How about Michelle Gleason?
Hi, I'm Michelle Gleason. I'm the Executive Director of Peaceful Solutions Counseling. I hopped on a couple minutes late, but I'm guessing the question is what systems we use as nonprofit?
Correct. And if it's working well for you too.
Okay, so we are also using QuickBooks, working well, Excel spreadsheets to manage a lot of data, working pretty well. And then I use Forgiving. And I'm not sure all the capacity, what they have to meet my needs, but I want a donor database is on my mind. So I need to figure out, we don't have anything in place right now.
Okay. How about Chantel?
All right. So I'm Chantel from Northern Valley Industries, located in Wausau. What we do here is we're an employment social enterprise. The employment aspect is we do subcontract work here in our production and assembly facility. Traditionally in the past, we worked specifically with those who had disabilities. And now at this time, we've really expanded just in general to providing work opportunities to anyone who wants work. And if they face any kind of barriers or obstacles, so that can be, experiencing homelessness, addiction of any sort, if they're justice involved, coming back from incarceration, so a variety of things. And right now, currently, I don't believe that we have any specific program in place. I am newer to this role, but a lot of what I've seen is like Excel spreadsheets. So I think something to be more efficient could be helpful.
Okay.
And then I know we use QuickBooks for accounting.
Okay, Maggie and Tammy, I see in the chat that you use QuickBooks and self-created spreadsheets. Do you want to add anything more and say hi? Maggie and Tammy.
Hi, everyone. Maggie Gordon and Tammy. We are with Children's Imaginarium. We are not open yet, working through our capital campaign with an opening in the next 12 months. So QuickBooks right now, we also use for a donor database, a self-created Excel spreadsheet format. We're also interested in looking at capability of our accounting, fundraising, and also our ticketing, if it could all jive together, would be the sweet spot for us. So if we could somehow manage our POS as well as our donor database within one platform.
Awesome, awesome. Lynn Gothel from Center for Visual Arts. I see you put a couple programs that you're using over at the CVA.
Yep. So I'm on the board. So I'm here representing
Okay.
them. We just
Okay,
switched to
excellent.
Kindful about 6 months ago. So it's kind of a way for us to gather donor information and then help automate things such as thank you letters and things like that. So we're new to it, but it is a way to gather. We use QuickBooks for accounting, and then we have lots of Excel spreadsheets. So our goal is to really try to get away from some of the Excel, so things are in one place and only updating things one time.
Okay. Alex Schinner.
There, my name's Alex Schinners. I work for Iron Bowl here in Wausau. We're a nonprofit that organizes and runs silent sports races. We're relatively new. We're only about 4 years old. So there's two of us, me and my boss, Andrea. So just about everything is done manually. Excel spreadsheets. We deal with most of our sponsors on like a face-to-face basis because we aren't very large yet. And we have a very part-time accountant bookkeeper who manages all of the minutia of our finances every month.
Okay. Okay. Then we have Ma Vu, but who said she's answering the phone. She may not be with us. Ma, are you with us? Okay. Kathy from CATS. Kathy Buckley, are you with us from CATS? Otherwise, we'll go on to.
I am.
Okay,
This
hi,
is
Kathy.
Kathy. Hi, Kathy Buckley with Keep Area Teens Safe. We use QuickBooks. We do have a volunteer accountant who handles all our financial piece. We do use our QuickBooks for payroll and our timesheets, and then Excel for tracking all our grants.
Okay, okay. Jennifer, how about you? No? Jennifer Elaine? Is there anybody that I missed? Oh, there we go. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi there. Sorry, I'm with Founded, so I'm.
Oh, I'm
joining to
sorry. I'm
learn.
sorry.
No worries at all. I
Okay,
apologize.
no problem. No
Thank you.
problem. Jennifer, we'll get to you later then. Is there anybody that I missed?
Carl Blomberg here.
Oh, Carl, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm Carl Blomberg, owner of Wausau Media, and the nonprofit I'm representing is Grow Wausau Incorporated, which is a brand new organization. We just incorporated a couple weeks ago. But what Grow Wausau is a nonprofit marketing agency. It's specifically mission driven to serve nonprofits in the greater Wausau area. So we have a team of creative professionals and business professionals that are working together to support communities and organizations that make this area. So yeah, we don't really have a lot of formal systems in place.
Okay. Is everybody able to use the show hand button? Can anybody like put up their hand that the system that you're using, that you need help with the system that you're currently using? Maybe we can show hands if you're kind of stressing with that. And then we also have in the room, and I'm going to turn to Barb Brown for an introduction, as well as our team, Tim and Pam and Kelly and Jenna. We'll talk a little bit about our relationship with Foundant And then from there, we will turn it over to Fountain to do a quick demonstration, and we'll have time for some Q&A after that. Barb, how? So we've only got a couple of hands up that people are looking for some help. Go ahead, Barb.
Nope, I was just going to say I'm Barb Brown with the BA Nestor Greenheck Foundation, and been a Fountain user since 2013, and extremely happy with the product. And today I'm just here to kind of observe and learn a little bit more about the program. So if I have a nonprofit asking me a question, or I can see that they need a little direction for software like this, I can have some information and forward it to them.
Thanks, Barb. How about our team? Tim, Pam.
Good morning. I'm Tim Parker. I'm the president and CEO of the Community Foundation here in Wausau. Really happy that you're all here to listen. I'm here to listen also, but I do want to say, as I'm a little bit new in this role, coming on 2 years, I have been delighted and impressed to work with Fountain, so I can give that kind of a support that their staff is responsive, their tools work well, and they do help us be more efficient. So we have looked at especially the financial side of this new software that they're launching, and feel it could be a solution for some of the nonprofit organizations in the community. So we have an opportunity to be kind of leaders nationally, actually, to be able to help implement this system if it makes sense for you. We're not here to sell. We're here to just show the tool and see if it's something that might make sense for you. So thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Kelly Price with the Community Foundation of North Central Wisconsin. I'm the executive assistant. So far with Fountain, I've been working on both the grant side, the accounting side, so donations, getting those tax receipts out. Looking at this current product, especially as a former executive director, all I can say is that the blood, sweat, and tears of this program would have saved me. Coming from a smaller nonprofit would have been wonderful. So I really hope this is a great tool that you guys can look at and possibly consider.
And I'm Pam Ekman. I'm the VP of Finance and Operations at the Community Foundation. And I work with the financier, of course. So I've worked with many of you on your questions and statements and all that kind of stuff. And also some of you with your QuickBooks. And I know that is not the best format for what you do. So I'm hoping that maybe Fountain can provide you a better solution.
Awesome. I think we've gone around the room and we are right on time to turn over this program to our team from Fountain to give us some information on this new product that they have developed that is a helpful tool for nonprofit organizations. Very happy and proud to be able to bring them into the room to have the conversation. Of course, anyone that's looking for software, we would ask, as a grant maker, we would ask you to do your due diligence and check out products, but we think this and this company and this product itself would be a good solution for you. Remember, you do have the chat if you have any questions, or if you want to connect with each other about some things that are working for you, this is your time to connect with each other as well. So with that, Mark, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you introduce your team. And I believe that Jenna needs to do some magic to turn the screen over to you. So thank you for being here.
Great. Thank you for having us, Sue, and thank you everyone for taking some time to learn about our system and to connect as a community. We very much appreciate it. This is kind of a new model for us, kind of working through some of our Community Foundation clients and to kind of get to work with the different communities that are out there, serving your areas, etc. So with that, I'm going to just do a quick introduction of the team that we have on the line with you today. I'll be turning things over to Grant Elliott. Grant is our VP of Product Management. So he's actually been the person who's really driven the development and kind of launch of this product. Joining him is Holly Spitz. She's one of our product owners or product managers. She is actually a CPA and has come from the nonprofit sector. So she's come from the community foundation side. So she used Community Suite, but she also has a pretty deep understanding having worked in the nonprofit sector as well. So if you guys ask any complex accounting questions, Grant's probably very quickly going to call on Holly to answer those questions as well. And then we have Jenna Lane. Jenna Lane is our product marketing for community foundations, and she works with some of our nonprofits as well. And she's pretty much here to kind of hear what you guys have to say, because we're still learning. As Tim said, this is a relatively new product, so we are learning as we go along. And so every interaction we have, regardless if you choose to work with us or not, is extremely valuable for us. So we would like for this to be a two-way dialogue. So with that, Grant, I'm gonna turn things over to you and let you show the product.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mark. And again, thanks everybody for coming. Can everybody hear me okay? All right, heads nodded north and south. Awesome. Yeah, I will turn any accounting questions over to Holly. I'm not an accountant by any means. She was a CFO of nonprofits and a CFO of community foundations, so she has all of that knowledge. So let's start off quickly here with, for those of you who don't know us, I'm just going to do a really quick who is Foundin, and then we're going to get into the stuff that you're all here to talk about or to learn about. So I really quickly just wanted to pull up our mission, which is maximize the impact of the philanthropic community. All decisions that we make, things that we do, things that we build, we always look at this. We only focus on the philanthropic community. We don't build products for anyone else, for for-profit community. We have built products over time, and we started with GLM, which many of you may have used with the Community Foundation, with Green Hack, with Dudley out there. All of them use the grants management solution. So it's likely that you have applied using the online system. And as we rolled that out about 14, 15 years ago, we started hearing from you all that we needed a grants management system, or you did. And so we worked with a bunch of nonprofits to build GrantHub. And as we brought more community foundations on that were using our grants management system, the community foundation said, we would like a system to manage everything we do, and we like you all as partners. So we brought on Community Suite. And as the years have progressed, our GrantHub clients and the folks that we talked to using the grants management system have continually said what you all just said. We have 5 systems, 4 systems, some spreadsheets. Some of the systems are working well. Some of them aren't, but the connectedness and the keeping the data clean, staff turnover, all of that is a problem. And so these are some of the topics that we continue to hear over and over and over again. Some of them are a little worse now. And the very bottom bullet there, staff turnover. That one, I don't know if you all have seen a lot of that, but we've seen a ton of that with the nonprofits that our private foundations and community foundations are working with. So it's another big benefit of having one solution that when you bring new staff on, you're not training them on 4 different systems. You don't have 4 different contracts, all different support teams, all of that. So we understand limited time and resources. Siloing of data makes it hard to manage the data. And so these are the things that we kept in mind as we were building out a system, kind of very similar to what community foundations were telling us as well. So with that, we're going to get into something a little bit more exciting. Please jump in with any questions. Just start talking and interrupt me with absolutely anything. Okay. So this is Nonprofit Core. I can't emphasize enough. This is just one system. So this is one system that handles your accounting, your CRM, and your fundraising. It's all connected. It's one solution. So very similar to what we've done with community foundations and Community Suite. We're going to walk through a couple of workflows today. As data comes in, it just automatically populates everywhere and starts to tell you the information. It starts to load these things up on your dashboards for you. And we'll come back and look at this, but real quick, while we're in accounting, I just wanted to show, there's dashboards that can be filtered down by years, opportunity types, that sort of a thing, showing you your revenue and expenses just overall. Interesting things in terms of donors, new donors, your LIBUNT, your SciBunt. So as I hear people talk about like donor management and donor database, if anybody's not familiar with LIBUNT and SciBunt, it is last year, but unfortunately not this year donors. So, and also some year, but unfortunately not this year. So this is telling you there was 9 folks that donated last year that haven't donated this year. Well, here are those 9 folks. Let's go ahead and go out, email them from this system and see if we can get them in the door or reach out to them. So it's going to start giving you some of that information. Also, statistically, If you get a donor in the first 90 days to donate twice, then the statistics tell you that they will donate more and more year over year. And so we've got data in here, and we're starting to build in some automation that will help you use the best practices and the statistics that are out there on better ways to go continue to engage with your donors. So, all right, well, let's talk about data management, data hygiene. So if you're all very familiar with having multiple systems, importing, exporting, all that. With this system, you wouldn't have to do that. But let's walk through a simple workflow in terms of how the data kind of flows into the system. So in fundraising, we have these things called opportunities. Now, fundraisers might think of these as campaigns. Some people build these for volunteer groups. Some people build them for online donations. Lots of different things that you can use these for. You'll see we have annual campaigns, events, a capital campaign in here. You can choose which one of these you want to put on your website to receive donations through. That's the workflow we're going to go through today. But we also have opportunities for grant seeking in here as well. So you'll be able to track all of the grants that you want to be managing in here. And I can jump into here real fast. But you can see and track like the amount you've requested from them, what you expect to get from them versus what you've been awarded. This one's actually been awarded. You can see when it was submitted. So you can track tasks that are outstanding. So if you have grant reports due or an application's due, you can assign yourself or other staff tasks on these. That will roll up in your task to notify you. All of that stuff's here in the system, along with who is related to this. So the Anderson Family Foundation, and Tim Johnson is actually the person who is at the organization, at the foundation, that we would want to be contacting or working with. And you could go to Tim's profile and actually find out if anybody else in your area is related to them or in your database. Maybe there's an in for a coffee or a relationship or something there. But let's jump back to opportunities real fast. So in the fundraising world, we have these different opportunities, and I've made a couple of these public. So like we have the children's education series here. This is something we want to put on our website to receive donations to. And you'll notice that, and when I come in here, I have a simple summary of all the revenue that's come in. So all the donations, whether they be online or manually entered, are in here. Any notes that maybe I've had conversations with folks around making larger donations for this. Any tasks outstanding. So here's one that's past due. Here are a couple that are coming up. Here are some that we used to put due dates on, or sorry, that are completed. And so you can be managing the task work that you need to do for these different fundraising opportunities. Also expenses. So just like your grants management, when you get a grant, time or purpose bound, and you've got to be tracking expenses against that, you can go put those expenses in the accounting system, associate it to this opportunity, whether it be a fundraising or a grant opportunity. All that's here for you to run reports on and provide back to the funders. Also in here will be any profiles associated with this opportunity from your CRM system and any files that you might want to attach for any reason. So that's just a quick overview of what's in here. But let's say we want to promote this on your website. So when we do that, we have a portal, a donation hub that gives you an embeddable link. And there's two ways to do this. So I'm going to jump to an example site that I have. So imagine that this is your nonprofit site, your website that you have today. You have pages that can be you can be serving up an individual opportunity for folks in the public to come donate to. You can embed a donation page just like this on any pages that you currently have on your website. So your clients your donors are not going to go to a different website. This is your website. The look and feel is the same. The navigation is the same, everything. So you can make a specific donation embed, and it's very easy. You just paste this into your web page where they can come in and donate to this specific opportunity. This will all flow through the system, and I'll show you this here in a second. So we're going to make a donation for children's education series today. And John Henry is going to make that donation right now. And there's the address, city, state, email address, and the payment information. So we're going to go ahead and hit donate on that. And I am not going to save that credit card information because it's just garbage. All right, so that one's done. Now, what happens also is that donor just received a thank you letter and a tax receipt donation in his email. The other way that you could do this is quite a few people like this idea where on your website again, you may not have specific pages for each opportunity, but you want to give them a carousel of the different opportunities that you have available to donate to. And so they could come in and you can set up different buckets to give them or allow them to donate to 10, 25. They can make recurring donations. So that way you got them coming in every month, every quarter, whatever those series are that you want. And then they could just make a donation right off this page. So I'm going to make a donation via Amanda Scott in this example. Amanda already is in my system, in my CRM. So we're going to see this donation go underneath her existing profile. So you don't have another profile get created. And Mr. Henry, who donated on the last screen, will be brand new. So any questions up till now on this stuff?
Can these items be embedded in emails as well? Or is website platform only?
Yeah, great question. So you can embed, if you have it on your website, you can embed that link in your email and make a specific ask. Like they can click on that link and go straight to the page to make a donation. Any other questions there? Okay, for the sake of time, we'll keep rolling here. So let me see if I've got, I do. So I'm going to jump into that John Henry's email address real quick. So if I go in here, Laura, you see that I didn't click any send emails anywhere. I'm John Henry, and this is my email system. I just logged in there, and here's my thank you letter. So the image from whatever images you want to attach in there. There's mail merge, so it automatically merges in the information, the date, the amount. You can put signature lines in here. You can make it look as nice as you want or as clean as you want. You can embed videos in here. You can embed all sorts of things in this email system, but this is automatic. You don't have to touch anything.
Yeah, Grant, we're not seeing it.
Oh, you didn't see that? Oh,
No.
well, let me see if I can share it. Sorry.
We're seeing the thing there. Perfect.
How's that?
Yep.
Thank you, Holly.
Got it.
Yeah, so this is the email that I just received. So if I jump into my Gmail, I just received this a second ago. And then here's the email that came with the email merge of John Henry's name, the date of the donation, the amount of the donation. It's 75 cents because John covered the credit card fees on it as well, which you're going to see in the accounting system. So I didn't click send email. That just went through the system. So let me go ahead and share the other screen now. Okay, let's jump back into Nonprofit Core. So let's go into our CRM system and let's go ahead and pull up. Amanda Scott was one of the donations that just came in. So if I go to Amanda's CRM system, here's her profile. So I can see her job titles. I can see a bunch of information that I've put in the system. You can also build in custom fields. So as you all introduced yourselves, you're all doing different things. Some of you have been around for 20 years, some have been around for 2 weeks. So there's information you're going to want to track that others don't. And you can do that through custom fields. So you can build different custom fields in here and track that data. And you can even ask for some of that data on the portal too, if you'd like. So inside, sorry, let me go back to Amanda Scott here real fast. So down here is the information for Amanda Scott. So I have all of the revenue or donations that have come in through for Amanda, any notes. So if I've met with her, if I've met with somebody else who I might want to keep some information around there, any tasks that I have, maybe we're going to go to dinner. Maybe I have a follow-up conversation I need to have with them. Maybe this is the person who knows, Amanda knows my contact, or maybe she knows Sue, and I'm going to go have a conversation with Amanda to see if I can have coffee with Sue and talk about grants. You can also track organizations in here as well. So just like we talked about, if you have a funder profile in here or your energy company, any expenses that you expense to these profiles from the accounting system will show up in here as well. So you have a holistic view of this profile, regardless of what type it is. You can also see the different relationships that Amanda has. So Amanda and George are a part of the same household. So we can jump into there and see the donations they've made as a household. Here's the communication history that goes out as well. So that email that was just sent to them, thank you for your donation, is right there. And you can click on that and you can actually see that email, the fact that it was sent, and all that information is there for your historical purposes. So Amanda was already there. It didn't create a new profile, any of that. It automatically rolls it underneath Amanda. And if I jump into the accounting system and I take a quick look at revenue, Amanda Scott's donation for $50 is there, and there's her credit card fee of $1.50. So that information starts to show up and populate within your accounting system as well. And now from here, this could be, we have it actually set up to automatically post these transactions. So you could go into banking and start to deposit those. And then the other cool thing is inside of here is all of you do, you all build budgets, right? So you can build budgets based on your different programs or services, your program services, which we have in here. A lot of you probably have these as classes in QuickBooks if you're in charge of your QuickBooks system, but we built it for you. So here are your different services, and these can have different budgets associated with them. So the revenue and the expenses that are coming into the system, you will be associated with these. So if I go into my financials, I have a budget report down here. And let's look at my budget for childhood education. That's my opportunity. That's what the donation just came in for. I'm going to look at it for the entire year. We're going to run that report real quick. So up here, this is where I have all donations going online. They're hitting the account of individual contributions. And so you'll see that my budget was $10,000. My balance right now is $2,860. So I have a variance of still $7,100 I need to go make up there. So not only can you build budgets, but you can be able to report on them, and all the information that's getting put into the system is automatically populating these things for you. You're not manually doing this work. So let's jump in real quick. The other one I wanted to show was Henry. So here's John Henry. He was a brand new profile, right? So we can communicate again with John Henry from here if we want to. There's the donation that he just made. Again, there's his credit card fee. I don't have anything else in here because I haven't built up his profile yet, except for that communication history that just went to him. If I want to email him because he's a first-time donor, I could hit communicate. I could jump into the email system. I could pull from my different templates. I don't know if I have a thank you email in here, but you can grab any of your email templates. So here's a good example of one. It's going to merge that person's first name. It's all built out. There's a link in here that when they receive that, it can automatically start playing in the email, or they can click on it and it'll play it in YouTube. So you can build email templates, send them out of the system, and that would automatically get reported in the profile as well. All right. Any questions so far?
So I think, Grant, I think the one point we definitely want to just kind of hit is the fact that, you know, the donors created a lot of work that normally would be a ton of work that each and, you know, multiple people, your organization, or that you're going to have to do from system to system, you know, through an online donation. You know, the tax receipt has already gone out. The CRM profile has been created or updated as necessary. The budgets have been impacted by that. You know, all of that happened, you know, through having your system work, you know, for you, rather than you having to constantly update your systems. And that's really the purpose. It's why we built Nonprofit Core. We saw the benefit that our community foundation clients had with Community Suite when they had a system that did the work for them where it could. And that's really the premise behind Nonprofit Core, because if there's any organizations out there that could use some extra time, it's the nonprofit organizations that we work with.
Yeah. So all this data is great, having it in the system, but how do I get the data out? That could be the next question. So I already showed you some of those dashboards. So accounting, CRM, and fundraising all have their own dashboards with data and analytics based on, you know, best practices, things like that. So inside of our funding or fundraising dashboard, we even have data in here rolling up from the accounting system that says the cost to acquire a donor, with details inside of it. You can also set notifications in here to notify yourselves or others within the organization if this number hits 700. Okay, that's our threshold. Maybe there's a problem there. So your dashboard is going to give you a lot of data. The other thing you're going to have is reporting. And I popped open reporting here. So I just quickly grabbed a report that I built yesterday to show today, which is donations, the donors by month this year. And so you can see just a quick look at all the donors who donated this each month this year. We have lots of different templated reports that you can come in and actually leverage if you want to, or you can create your own. So in our test site, we don't have a lot of, ton of data, but I even built a heat map in terms of like cities we're getting the most donation from, or counties, or whatever data you're tracking. Those custom fields that we talked about, they could be over here, and we've got birthday in here. You could run reports off birthdays or whatever custom information you want. And all you literally do is just take this stuff and drag it in. So reporting is not complicated. And if I just want to grab birth date, throw it in here, it's going to throw the birth date on all of my donors, right? And because it's not a required field, or these are organizations, I guess in this example, they don't have birthdays. So when we built this custom field, we only put it on individuals. You can say, hey, I want these on organization profiles or households or individuals. So reports, you can do bars, pie charts, graphs, and you can automate these reports. So if you built out reports that you like, you could get those reports sent to yourself every month, every week. You could send them to your board every month or every week. You can choose if you want these things to automatically go out, or you can send them individually as well. So that's a lot. I know some of you talked about QuickBooks as your system. Every client we've brought on is replacing QuickBooks with our system. And a lot of it depends on if it's an outsourced accountant or if you all have it in-house, and conversations there for sure. But this would replace, that's a question we often get is, would this replace QuickBooks? And it would. This is a full replacement for QuickBooks, and it's built for a nonprofit. So this is just going to continue to build out more and more. One of the next big things we're doing is opportunity budgets. So not only can you budget based on your program service, but you can budget based on your opportunities as well and run reports off all that data. So we didn't get into everything. Obviously, there's a lot in there that we could show, lists, communication, everything like that. But in the being cognizant of time, I just want to make sure we allow time for questions and then some additional stuff as well from us. So any questions?
Grant, I do have one question. When you talked about providing the information to your accountant when they're doing the audit, is this product similar to what Pam is working with? And Pam, maybe you can explain a little bit how the accountant is actually able to get into C-suite to get some of the reports and information without you having to do some things. Pam, maybe you can explain that, and Grant, you can explain if that's a possibility with this.
Okay.
So what we do is we give the auditors auditor login, and they have access to our software to basically view anything. They can run reports, and so they don't really even come on premises to do audits here. And we also attach all of our invoices and documents so they can see the initial documents as well. Is that available in this process?
It sure is. Yep. So I did not show that, but to dive a little bit into that, up here in your settings area, we have user access. So in this site, we have a few different users, but if you edit one of these, like Megan's, we'll edit Megan's access here. We have lots of different permission sets, and this is all in our documentation to be a part of training when we talk to you about how to set the system up, what are your different users. You have lots of different permissions. You may not want everybody in your accounting system, and chances are you don't. So you can set those folks up as your fundraising staff, and they would have all CRM and fundraising access, and they could view things from like revenue and expenses in the profile, but they wouldn't be able to go into the accounting system and start posting things and pulling reports and that sort of stuff. So permissions is the big one. And that view is your auditor access. You can give them view access. or multiple people, and they could come in and they could start going through the system and running reports and looking at diving into any data that they want to. Yeah. Great question, Sue.
You know,
Any
I
other-
believe a lot of people had mentioned grant reporting too. So we do have, you didn't all see the expense side, but you can allocate expenses to any program or any opportunity. So that would help populate, you know, the budget report. And we also have the ability, we have something called allocation tables. So for those expenses that you allocate across programs, even fund development management in general, it's an easy push the button. So for your accounting team, I guarantee they'll love it. It's called an allocation table. You can build it out. And basically what it does is it allocates your invoices across multiple programs. And so when you have that required statement of functional expense at the end of the year, it's already built and ready for you. So it's a really great tool.
No, great point, Holly. So here is that allocation table. So once you build those up, all you need to do when you come in and add your expense, you can choose to use one of those if you want to. So you could say, let's use that monthly cell phone bill. And let's say our cell phone bill is $400 and all the allocations are automatically taken care of. And to Holly's point, if you wanted to associate those with one of your grant programs or one of your other fundraising opportunities, you could do that. And so you can allocate it just like that, that grant seeking or that grant making opportunity. And then that will show up in fundraising underneath that grant making opportunity as well. So it's all connected.
And we did have a question in the chat, whether or not this interfaces with QuickBooks.
It does not. Nope, it does not, because it is meant to replace QuickBooks. Yep. But we do have a couple clients who are not replacing QuickBooks right away. So they're going to come on and do CRM and fundraising first because they want to get off spreadsheets and the multiple systems. And then when they move over to Nonprofit Core, they'll just do a beginning balance start in the accounting system. So they won't load all the historical data. They'll have that all in their QuickBooks system on their computers. But they'll pick a time when like the fiscal year is done, the audit's done, and they'll put their beginning balances in and move forward in the system that way. So there is that option as well.
I also have another question. What does the conversion process look like, taking all the data from their QuickBooks or their For Good programs? How do they get it into this platform?
Yeah, excellent question, which is kind of a segue into the very last thing we wanted to touch on, so the process is we will help you through the migration process 100%. So we work with you to get the data out of your existing systems. QuickBooks, we've got a really good handle on. And then a lot of CRM systems out there and fundraising systems are different. So we want to make sure that we get the right data that you want to capture moving forward and that it's as clean as possible. So then we'll have our team on our side, our migrations team, start to get that data and manipulate it and pull it into the Nonprofit Core for you so you can get in and validate it. And because of our relationship with all of the funders out in your area, many of which are on this phone call today, this is a little bit different. Normally with folks, we would do Zoom calls like this and we would train people one-on-one, have them go through our in-system help and support tools and do follow-up calls, that sort of thing. But with you all, if there's a group that wants to move forward on this, we'd be willing to come out and do some in-person trainings, in-person conversations multiple times to make sure folks get up there live. And then support with us is free too. I should mention that. And pricing is not based on users or data, it's based on operating budget. So as you grow, you pay a little bit more. If you have some rough years and your operating budget's lower, you pay less. So we wanted to price it based on the health of the organization, basically. I can show the import process too. It's pretty easy, but it's just a really slick mapping tool where you upload a spreadsheet and you can tell it, I want first name to go to first name, and I want birthday to go to birthday, and I want last name to go, address one to go to the profile's first address. So you basically just map it where you want it to go. Other questions?
I'm gonna have to say, it looks like a pretty powerful program.
Thanks,
I have
Sue. Yeah, we worked very hard. Yeah, sorry.
One more thing for you to talk about. Is there any plans to integrate to a payroll system?
Yes, there is. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. So right now you could track payroll in the system, but you wouldn't process it. And maybe this is a conversation for Holly, probably more than myself. So I didn't step all over, but yes, we do want to integrate with a payroll system. Yeah. There's a
So I was gonna say, right now we're handling it with import. So you can import a journal entry or an expense transaction. And so we've just worked with the payroll companies to build those imports, and it's just really a click of a button and post.
All right.
So I guess from our end, again, we are just looking for ways to help our nonprofits be more efficient, more streamlined. So we, wanted to offer this as a conversation. Fountain, do you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about what your next steps might be if anybody is interested? We did share the registration list with everyone, including Fountain. If you are interested, maybe to contact each other, or if you want to come and make a presentation, what is your next step?
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Sue. If everybody's open to it, and we'll reach out and just see if anybody's interested for a follow-up conversation or a free trial of the system as well. So you can go in and start playing around with it and having some questions with us. If you're not interested, you can say not interested at this point in time, but would love to just follow up and answer any questions on this, other systems, best practices, or if there's something you didn't like. That's probably more powerful than anything. Like, we want to learn from you all as well, in terms of, it's not quite where I need it yet because of these things. That's very important, so we can put that on the roadmap and go do that.
Like payroll.
Like payroll. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
I know that was a big one for Pam.
Mark, do you plan to go over cost at all?
Oh,
or would that be on an individual basis?
We can look at price. I can talk about pricing real fast. Sorry, Mark, go ahead.
No, I was going to turn it to you anyway.
Okay, yeah. Let me pull up the pricing real quick.
As he's doing that, our pricing is also on our website as well. So that's one thing that Fountain's always done. We have really straightforward pricing. We have never been, a company that do our pricing based off of the negotiations that each individual company does with us. We tend to work, we are the market leader for our grants management system. They get to know each other. We have the most community foundations in the country who use our system. They get to know each other. Our goal is to, we kind of do a lot of this community-based stuff. We work with, 20, 30 organizations in the Wausau area. We don't want you guys having different contracts and different commitments. We want to treat you all equally.
All right, so like I said, it is based on operating budget. So if you're, let's just do a range here. If you're at 500,000 operating budget, then you'd be at 4,000 a year for everything, and unlimited data, unlimited users, all of that stuff that we just showed you. If you are at 5 million, you'd be around 10,000 per year. And how we did this is we talked to folks who used different systems at different operating budget levels and understood what they were paying for these different systems, for users, for data, for some people at 5 million are using 6 systems, people at 500,000 are using 3. And so again, as you grow, you can probably afford a bit more versus if you're smaller, then not so much, but the goal here is to have you grow. And then another piece of this is, we could talk, if there's a group out there who are interested in potentially doing like a year 1 discount on the implementations and stuff while we come on site and do that. So.
I think the other thing too is just, this is not, we're not done developing this. And I think that's one of the things that, you know, if you speak to the Community Foundation or you speak to Barb, that's kind of what we're known for. Is, you know, we get the product launched and then we engage with our clients who are using the system, and we continue to enhance it and improve it. And I think Grant hit on that. You know, we only serve the philanthropic community. And so we're not trying to go, you know, we're not trying to meet the needs of the local business down the street. We're interested in working with, you know, the different nonprofits in the community. So if there's stuff that we're missing, you know, if we understand the needs and it's something that other people can benefit from, that's the stuff that we work on first and foremost.
That is probably one thing that I could say about this company, because we have been working with them for about 10 years now. And we came on originally for the grant management side of it. And Mark, you probably were pretty early in the development of the product in 2012. We never regretted the decision at that time. And we loved the product in 2012, and it's done nothing but get better over time. As he said, there's wonderful training along the way. There is the opportunity to put in suggestions to make the product even better. And when you see one of your ideas getting implemented, you just go, yes, I win. And they've been nothing but great with the customer service and things like that. Barb, I think you could probably say the same thing for the Green Heck Foundation, I hope. So again, as Tim said, you know, we are not here as a community foundation to sell you on a product, but again, looking for ways for all of our nonprofits to be more efficient. And we do vouch for the fact that we have enjoyed a really successful relationship with this particular company. Any other questions? Go ahead.
I know it sounds like Sue and the Community Foundation teams are selling us, but that is how we've built our business, is by taking care of our clients. So we have that type of a relationship with them. And I think that we take that very, very seriously. The recommendation and reputation of our clients when they recommend us to other people to look at us is something that, you know, we don't take for granted. And that's why we strive to provide, you know, the product and the support that we're known for. So thank you, Sue. I mean, don't think for a second we don't appreciate and respect and appreciate you know, your confidence in us. We absolutely appreciate it.
Cost effective, efficient, and customer service. Those are the things that I would probably put top of line for this particular company. Anybody else from our team that might want to make some last minute comments? Any other questions? Otherwise, we will call it quits for the day.
All right.
I just want to close with a couple of reminders for the nonprofits in our area. We've got a couple things coming up in August. The Lunch and Learn, which is Meet the Local Funders. That will be on August 17 at the Center for Visual Arts. Thank you very much for hosting us there. There is a link on our website for you to register for that. We do need to know how many people we're buying lunch for. So we do have foundations from throughout the area that will be there to talk about the missions and funding priorities of the particular foundations in the area. And then we have a collaboration that we're doing with the United Way and some of the other nonprofits in the area, and that's called Community Connect. That is on August 23rd. It's at the Boys and Girls Club, and that will be an opportunity really to connect with other organizations. It's just a networking opportunity to be in the room with other agencies and organizations that work with you. So find that, as well as keep in mind September 1 is our next grant deadline. So we'll be looking for some applications to look at in September. So last minute goodbye from our friends at Foundant. Otherwise, we'll be ready to close for the day and go on to other things. Grant? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.